Alright friends, we're here. Took us a little while. Boom. Welcome to the beginning of the end. And I do not mean the end of Season 4, although technically that is true. This is the beginning of the series finale of Battletech: A Time of Total Warfare. Season 4 will be the final season. The upcoming battle, which we can't get to tonight because the battlefield is too large for us to load correctly. We're going to have our map experts build us a new map. So you won't get that until next week unless they finish in the next 30 seconds, which seems unlikely because they haven't even responded to my request yet. I expect it'll be 4 to 5 parts long, including tonight, which will be all RP. And at some point, Eric Vulgaris will be joining us, as well as the man directly beneath me, Glimo LeBeau. So we're gonna have a night that will be no overlays because we're gonna have 7 whole people fighting it out all at once, waiting a super long time for their turn, because that's how professional I am at doing this. More to say I will have after intros are over to kind of explain how this easing process will happen. But I want to thank everyone so far that's been Prime subbing tonight. And this is obviously the end of A Time of Total Warfare, is not the end of Battletech on this channel, so stick around for that. Now, as far as introducing my cast members, Monday morning I came up with a great intro, and then I forgot to make something up for Glimo. So allow me to introduce my cast. Thesaurus, a cat, a prawn, and Grimdark Jimmy. And of course myself, a person with a lot of confidence who doesn't need anyone to tell him how great he is. And also Glimo's here. I guess as far as introductions, let's start with Grimdark Jimmy. He's screaming internally, I think.
I think I said to you before, only Americans call me Jim.
Exactly, and I knew that.
Yeah, shortening my one-syllable name to a one-syllable nickname.
That's a half a second that people need, all right?
I mean, Grimdark Jimmy makes the name longer, not shorter.
That is true. Yep. I wanted to actually throw out a hypothesis this week, just quickly, because obviously, as you mentioned, you're looking at this to be the final. Well,
let me
season. Yep.
After the intros, I'm going to be going over it again for people that skip intros. So okay, I don't know if you want to save it until then, or whether it's spicy intro material.
No. I just because I mean, obviously, it just comes down to when people are, available to keep committing to long-term games. I know, Rad, you said you've got some family stuff going on as well. I'd actually like to point out though that I think that what Rad is doing is the classic: get to the heavyweight championship and then retire undefeated. given that he's won the most popular cast member in your yearly survey, I think
you got to retire on the top, man. That's right. The only way to do it.
Like one more year, next survey, he could be in second or worst place. So.
I mean, it should be noted that
in his last years,
November 12th would be the 3-year anniversary. So we're going to end before 3 years and before 100 episodes, which I think is truly the greatest failing of this show.
To not make it 3 years.
To get it so close and yet fail. What's the Thanos quote?
Well, we haven't decided for sure we're not going to do a final season yet, have we?
That's news to me. I had thought that decision had been made over the week. I mean, here I am making new show ideas, cooking them up.
I mean, my decision was
at the end of the last episode,
making decisions.
All right, at the end of the last episode, I asked if people wanted to continue. 3 people were like, I don't know, and James said something like, if you're not enthusiastic enough to do it, then it's not worth doing. And I said, okay, I guess that's it. So unless something's changed for 3 out of the 4 of you.
No, that's fair. I'll be honest, I've been a bit scatterbrained lately. So
a lot has happened, yes.
Yeah.
It's been, you know what? The last 2 days have been awful. I tried
Arthur?
Yeah. Listen, my sister told me that the only reason I wanted to contact her was to harvest her organs. So take a moment to consider what it would take to tell that to another person, especially your family member. That is... And that is the worst thing that has happened in the last 3 days. But it's certainly not the only one. It is really bad, though. Like that, there's so many ways to slice that open, just like the organs I want to harvest.
He's been watching 2020 too much.
So that's it. James, you got
Hasn't
anything
been on
else?
enough to watch more of it. Right?
Oh, oof. Listen, that hurts inside. I was talking to Glimo about that today.
Yeah, it hurts to me.
Yeah, well,
I've
it
been
hurts
waiting.
me too. I want the show to continue, but to be honest, we have a pretty good reason for not continuing right now.
Yes.
And that is that one of our cast members has been in the hospital for 2 weeks.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I'm
James-
still going to be impatient. All right.
Well, yes, please be impatient. James, what else you got?
I'm good. I've not been in and out of hospital. I've just been in and out of work at the moment. I got a video up on YouTube for the first time in like 4 years yesterday. I did an unboxing video, so I'm one of those kids that unboxes things now and puts it on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
but I got
welcome to the cool hipster club. I'm down with that. I'm down with the kids. They know me.
I got more views in 24 hours for my 17-minute unboxing video than any of my role-playing videos have gotten in months/years. So,
well, your role-playing videos are unlisted, right?
No, they're listed.
Oh.
The old Dark Heresy playthroughs are listed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but I didn't finish that campaign, so I would not encourage people to watch that because you won't get any payout at the end because it just stops partway through. Other than that, I had a phone call from my boss yesterday. He pretty much said to me, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said, look, I know it's August, but I haven't set you any goals for this year so far. So could you please set your own goals and I'll just approve them?
Oh my god. That's the most corporate bullshit thing I've ever heard.
That's the dark bargain.
Yeah. Wow. Talk about coming in easy.
That's it, yeah.
Must be nice riding that hang glider.
Look, my wife said to me, you better be careful because whatever you set now, you've got to be sure you can do it. But I did also
You just
say
set
that,
goals you've already met.
Yeah, well, also my boss is very big on like really nebulous goals as well. Nothing that's actually measurable, So develop strategies to improve market share across multiple segments. Something that is so motherhood statement based that you can never actually say you did or didn't. So yeah, I just put in really generic gibberish that actually meant nothing. And tick that box.
Advance my education and training rapidly to be of service to my company.
Yeah, so that was my week in corporate life. But yeah, obviously here today and looking forward to the game and obviously the game on Saturday too.
Okay, Brad, what do you got going on?
What do I have going on? Just a world of uncertainty, Arthur. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Who can tell?
You don't need to tell me, man. I feel like I have been mentally out of balance for about 8 to 10 months.
Yeah.
Just like, man, what is truth anymore? When will this living hell end?
I've been up since 1 a.m., so I'm probably a little drowsy and loopy at the same time.
That's good. Almost all the scenes tonight involve Butch McGurk having to make serious decisions.
Great. Yeah. I've been at work since 2 a.m. So yeah, that's pretty much been my day. Everything else beyond that haze doesn't really exist at the moment. I just don't even know. I don't know when I'm leaving the country. I don't know what's going to happen to Battletech. I don't know.
I mean, I know what's going to happen to Battletech.
I don't know anything.
100% certain what's happening to Battletech. I announced it at the beginning of the show.
I don't even know what you said. I can't even remember that far back.
The show's ending, Red.
Oh, okay. All right, 100%. Yeah, I'm in this weird place of being entirely uncommittal with everything because I have so many things between both myself, my professional career, my military career, my wife going back to school and being busy with that, and like my kids being at school or not at school. Who even knows when they're even ever going to go back to school or what that's going on. There's so many question marks for me right now that I have literally no idea what my future holds in any regard at any level at all. So everything is day to day at this point, and I'm just trying to fake it till I make it. I have a naked child walking around in my house. Go away, naked child.
I appreciate your covering the camera.
There you go.
So much. Many reasons, not the least of which is
I mean,
laws.
he had a towel. He wasn't He didn't have his goods out.
I'm gonna have
for the whole
to. I
world to see or
literally am
anything.
gonna have to check the box on YouTube that says that there was a child in this video.
So yeah, that's it, man. I don't know. I feel bad. I don't want to be the cause of strife for anybody else, but I don't have any answers really at this point.
What? Don't
So,
feel
yeah,
very
that's-
strife-filled, right? Listen, the only answer I need is your answer to the pitch doc survey, because
okay.
we're missing you and Cotton.
When do you want to talk about that? Right now?
No.
All right, right now is good. Let
No,
me see.
no, right now is a bad time. And I want to tell you why right now is a bad time.
Okay.
Because I want to surprise the audience with your show
Okay.
choice. So my plan is, after Battletech ends, if you can commit to 3 months, we do one of these 3-month show arcs, I will show the audience the 3 pitches, and they will get to guess and or bet on which one is the one that we're actually doing.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Number 2 will
listen,
shock you.
I absolutely love being on the show. I love playing with everyone here. I love everything Arthur comes up with and all the collaborations of every single cast member on this show, Gleemo included. And I would absolutely love to continue to play every single week forever, no matter what it was. But my life does not currently allow for that sort of commitment. So I can commit to a couple months at a time at best, and that's pretty much it. So, and that makes me sad, because what I do really love is long form storytelling. So I've absolutely enjoyed being involved in Battletech over the course of years. I've really had a lot of fun living and growing as one character for a very long time. And even though I took a break from a character, played another character for a little bit. So it's, heartbreaking might be an over dramatic phrase to use, but it's very sad to me to not be able to commit to whatever is the next big thing for the channel. But that's, this is the reality of the situation for me. So it is what it is. And I will play when I can on whatever terms I can make work.
3-month guest arcs, AP?
Yeah, I think guest starring is definitely something I'll be talking to Arthur about for stuff. The only unfortunate part of that is it puts me in a situation where I have to, again, shield the camera because I don't know what the state of dress is of my child.
I appreciate it.
So here, check out my palm. You can see that my lifeline is very healthy. Let me mute my microphone for a moment so I can yell at a child.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
I need to tell Rad, by the way, that I was speaking with my brother-in-law yesterday, who's just lost his job, and he's decided he's going to sell his house and his car, move to Texas, live in Winnebago, and buy as many guns as he can afford.
That's absolutely the best plan. Now I feel like I'm out of focus. I've been researching lately how much it costs to buy a school bus, and I just want to buy a school bus and convert it and just move my whole
that's some
family into a
Mad
school
Max
bus.
shit right there. That makes me want to run a 4-episode arc with you of Apocalypse World, where where you play a driver and your objective is to go from one city to another city and like deliver kids in a battle bus, and you have to survive the struggles, the tribulations.
I will absolutely play a game
my
as a
mind was like a
post-apocalypse school
cyberpunk,
driver.
but, he's a nomad now.
No, Apocalypse World, you get that Mad Max shit thow. And
Yeah,
you can
Right,
use
we'd be on top of the
psychic
bus
magic.
in leather with a flame-throwing guitar.
Absolutely. I need to be Otto from The Simpsons in Mad Max World. Absolutely be the way to go. I don't know. That's about all I got going on. I was excited to come home like 2 days ago and play some Sea of Thieves. I wasn't. I was actually going somewhere else. I was in the back of the house talking to my wife about stuff, and we were both coming out to, I don't know, take the kids to their grandparents' house or something like that. And I walk out in the living room, which is where my computer is. As you can see, this is not a cleverly devised green screen backdrop. This is my actual living room. And my daughter was sitting at my computer, which isn't entirely odd. She sits here sometimes, and we set her up to do educational games or House and Mouse or whatever it is, right? And
Eat a rabbit.
I saw that she had Sea of Thieves open, and I was like, they have been quite interested in Sea of Thieves lately. They watch me play it a lot. But she was at like the pirate selection screen, and I was instantly like, uh-oh. You only go to the pirate selection screen if you don't have a pirate.
Correct.
And she could only have been logged on as me. So my 5-year-old had found like the 7 or 8 different clicks you have to make to delete your pirate permanently from your account. And she had done it. And she was in the process of choosing me a new pirate. So I was disheartened, as that is obviously.
I would contact Rare.
I did.
Okay.
I put in a help ticket, and in less than 2 hours able to restore my account. So
yeah, that sounds,
pat on the back for Rare, great customer service. And I don't know if that's typical for them or not. I can't speak to that, but I had a good experience with Rare's customer service recently. So I feel like it's worth saying, hey, we don't often hear about developers doing good jobs of games and things lately. So here's that's a pat on the back for Rare. They hooked me up, helped me out. So
I imagine it's an issue, not even just with Sea of Thieves, but probably dating back to World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, I've had my World of Warcraft account hacked several times and then had all my shit deleted.
So it's probably not like a normal, it's an unnormal issue.
Yeah. So initially my hopes were not high, but it worked out really well. Because I didn't know. I was like, I don't know if your character data is stored locally or on servers. I just wasn't sure for this game.
You're good.
Like for Warcraft, obviously, I know this. I know how that game works, but for Sea of Thieves, I wasn't that familiar with it. So
you weren't there. Oh no, you were there for the beginning, where you would turn in stuff, and it would take like days for the server to register the reputation game.
Yeah. So it was a pleasant confirmation to find out, yes, indeed, all of your information is stored on server, which should have clicked to me anyway, because the game is cross-play. So it would have to be all server-based. There was no way it could be locally based. But I was distraught and tired and not thinking clearly. So I was probably stressing myself out for no reason, but it worked out. So that's my little bit of drama. That's my future situation. And that's it, I guess. That's all I got. Toss it on to next person.
Done.
What's up?
Wow, I was going to ventriloquist mimicry, your normal thing, but then you hit me with the sup, and I was like, what the hell is happening? All right. What is sup, dog?
I got off work late. I have to go to work early.
That's unfortunate. I have good news for you.
What?
It's going to be a half episode, so you'll have more time to sleep.
Pondo brought me lunch, and I made a joke about him taking me home so I didn't have to work anymore. And he said, get in the car, and I had to think about it for a minute.
Wow, incredible.
I have never wanted to walk out of a job
What a
before,
night.
but I have been thinking about it for a while.
Promote this man to Duke, is what I'm saying.
I still need a job, though, so I have to stay for a while.
Ain't that the truth? You got anything else going on besides helping set up Pondo for good guy moments?
No.
All right. Pondo, what do you got when you're not good guying?
Bad guying, I guess. Yeah. My week has been relatively uneventful. I haven't really done much as of late.
That must be nice.
Yeah. No, I kind of been tweaking around in Tabletop Simulator and Dungeon Painter Studios, just making maps and whatnot. But that's about the extent of what I've been going or doing. I've also been telling myself I need to probably paint miniatures. That's been just collecting dust at the moment, but I can't quite get to the motivation for some reason.
Everything sucks, and the majority of people in the world are massively depressed. Terrible things keep happening worldwide.
Yeah.
Including a major city exploding.
Yeah. Yeah, that was insane when I saw that in the news. It was like, oh, man.
Listen, this is what got me. There were people that were filming that saw that initial blast wave moving out, and they were like, oh, it's going over me, I'm gonna be fine. And I was like, oh my god, pressure wave. They just ate it to the face. They just ate shards of glass and like being pushed across the room, and I was like, man, someone has never paid attention to movies or physics their entire life.
Yeah. Well, night in movies is a terrible example.
I mean,
Yeah,
in
they
movies,
should have turned away and put some sunglasses on and walked away from the explosion.
yeah, no, that would also have been a terrible plan. You should have crawled up into a ball on the floor and opened your mouth. I think the weirdest thing is the humidity level made for that really weird initial blast wave, but I guess you don't see many movie explosions that take out a whole city set on the port, so...
Yeah, and also movie explosions aren't 100% what most explosions would be like.
Sure, I'll buy that, since most of them are...
Most of them are gasoline-filled explosions that burst into a fiery flame, where this case was different because it was a lot of flammable objects, also, like fireworks and, what was it,
Yeah, wasn't it some kind of chemical explosion?
It was
Anfo.
chemical along with fireworks.
Yeah, it was the core
fertilizer.
explosion was from Anfo. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was
This
just
is,
an overall insane thing.
part of the problem is that was approximately 2.7 long tons of Anfo, and they've since come out here and said that there's a city just north of Sydney where that has about 6 long tons of Anfo stored, less than 10 miles from the city centre.
Every time you're
so
saying
it's-
long tons, I'm dying on the inside.
I mean, long tons aren't metric tons. I just said metric tons.
Imperial tons, how about that?
No, I'm talking about metric tons. I'm talking
Yeah,
they had
metric tons,
2,700
yes, correct.
kilograms. Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to about 6,000 kilograms of Anfo near Newcastle.
Well, you definitely don't want to mix up your long tons and your short tons.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you die inside.
I haven't even gotten to British thermal units yet, so... Pondo, what else you got?
What's the problem with BTUs?
Yeah, BTUs, but it's not... No, just I'm not going to get into it.
I use BTUs in work all the time.
No, I'm not going to get into it. Pondo, what do you got?
Nothing much other than that. No, just biding my time, not doing much. Yeah. That's it. I think that's it for everybody. I guess I need to wait to see what's going to happen to me if I'm going to get murdered secretively and then told I slipped and fell down the stairs.
What? What is
I got
Cotton going to
pulled
do to
aside
you?
by the huh? I'm talking about Bandito.
Oh, Bandito.
Why would you blame me?
Yeah. We'll get to that. Limo, what
I
do you
already
got?
know how you're gonna die. It's gonna be Rapier behind you.
Yep. Kick off the jihad.
Hey, I'm Gleemo. You can find me at twitch.tv/Gleemo. I stream horror stuff. Last time I was on this show was back in February, apparently, when the world was a much different place. It was a simpler time. We only had, some small things to worry about. Let's see. Since then, I'm now starring on Arthur's Wednesday night show, Cyberpunk 2020++. That's been a hell of a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to us hopefully getting back together again next week. Other than that, enjoying the days of still being employed, so that's something. I've got a client that has finally taken me up on my offer of, look, right before everything went sideways, you signed a contract with me to upgrade your Wi-Fi at all these offices, and there's no one in your offices right now, so this would be a really good time to do it. So how about you let me get off my couch? And they finally said, hey, you know what? This would be a really good time to do that, and we don't have to pay you overtime. Yeah, great. So I have been going around to several offices around New England with my ladder and putting up new access points. And that's been the highlight of my last 3 months.
It doesn't sound very highlighting. But...
it gets me out of the house, but at the same time, it's really sad that is the highlight of my last 3 months. Yeah, I'm healthy. My family's healthy. That's all I can really ask for. And I'm happy to be back here playing some BattleTech. Thank you for letting me take Harbinger out for one last hurrah before this all ends.
So we need to get that Harbinger guest star on Oath of Endosteel. And like 3040, like young knight Daniel Savoy.
Yep, young knight Daniel Savoy before he becomes all indoctrinated.
Yeah. Well, now he's no longer Sir Daniel Savoy. He's acolyte.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Rad, you made me think of this when you said, talking about a long character arc. I honestly thought that I was done with Harbinger after the second guest star when I took the Devastator out. Arthur asked me if I would come back for season 4 after the time skip, and I was like, well, like all right, sure, but I feel like I gotta have a new character at this point, because like what's left for Harbinger, his mech's been destroyed. His city's been destroyed. He's retired. How would I bring him back? And Arthur's like, well, it's fine if you want to bring a new character in, but just think about it. Think about, what's been going on with him for the last 10 years and see if something, coalesces there. And so thank you, Arthur, for, pushing me on that, because that was, I've actually had a lot of fun playing him as, the Paladin of Blake. And that's been cool. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to come back one last time for the final arc of the show.
What can I say for my intro? Liam and I played some Sea of Thieves today, and we made out like absolute fucking bandits. Everything that could go correct did go correct, except for that brief fight when we were offloading. We made so much stuff. I finally got the 5-star emissary flag and started making out like a bandit with that. It was great. I got a new outfit for my character and a new hull, and still walked away with a good bit of money. So at the very least for that, I had a good time. And I beat Valkyria Chronicles last night. Not Valkyria Chronicles 4. Not the full extended secret ending. I didn't get to the true ending yet, and I probably won't for a very long time. But now that Valkyria Chronicles is fucking done, it's time to get back to this game, so I can get back to this game. And by get back to, I mean start playing, because it's clearly still in its case. I have a long list of games. Valkyria Chronicles is slowing me up. Everything I'd heard about that game at Torture Lollies was correct. I regret playing Valkyria Chronicles 4 at all. There were many great parts of it, and everything was ruined by 2 little girls running around going, you know what would be great? If we did drugs, threw grenades at people, and, I don't know, suicide bomb stuff. And I was just like, man, this is not my thing. Alright.
Yeah, it kind of loses.
They're so annoying, too. They're so incredibly hard to kill, and yet
the
dumb and
trick
weak.
is getting right behind them, activating the attack boost order, and just shooting them back.
I mean, the trick is hitting them with a smoke grenade and then shooting them over and over again so they can't dodge. Did I just hear like a whistle or something?
That's probably my my washing machine beeping singing a song to me that it's finished.
All right, that's weird, but
Song of its people.
Yes.
I was about to say that's our laundry machine, but I don't think we're running it. We have the same
We have the same
time.
Yeah. Yeah, Arthur, sometimes the only way to win is just not to play.
I agree. Listen, someone just posted some comments on episode 17 of Okeanos. And I think they're a person who watches this show and were inspired to go back and watch it over the last 2 weeks, which means they are making great time.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else we need to cover in intros before we get started with the real show, which will be getting started telling people about the show? Hopefully that was confusing, because I wanted it to be. All right. People of Battletech, if you are a person who skips intros, welcome to the non-intro part of the show. Battletech: A Time of Total Warfare season 4 is ending, and with it, the entire series will be ending. Oath of Endosteel is still going to be a thing. I highly anticipate doing a Solaris 7 show in the future at some point. Battletech will absolutely be a thing that I do with Rad at some point in the future. Probably just going to be done one episode at a time, kind of disjointedly over a course of like 4 or 5 episodes. So Battletech's not going away, just this show. I anticipate this to be a 4 to 5 episode arc. We're going to cover the Dwayne Swamps and the end of the clan war. So, I mean, the show's first season started with the clan invasion in the periphery and will end with the end of the clans invasion, which is technically also the end of clans because the last time they did something useful. Until the Dark Ages, which you don't talk about. Several things you should note. I believe that the Kickstarter is shipping soon, the first wave. Second, the new Battletech setting, Ilclan Recognition Guide is coming out soon in like 37 parts. And it will be set 100 years in the future past Dark Ages. So it'll be 200 years past this show, essentially. And what else can I say? Since we're scrapping season 5, it means I don't get to fight with C3 computers or infantry or melee combat. I don't have to tell you what I'm going to engage you with in character or act really stupid all the time. It sucks that I don't get to do all those things, but don't worry, I'm going to do them to the Oath of Endosteel. I'm going to absolutely destroy them over and over again using good tactics and good morals, like fighting dirty. Several scenes that would have been in season 5 will be moved to this season, including probably this episode is going to see most of them. So I'm speeding up some of the timeline. Other than that, I just want to thank the community. You know, when I started this, it took a long time. It took like 6 months to get the show launched, and we had complex mathematical calculations back then. We didn't have the nice clean setup that we have now. I hadn't learned to use tabletop simulator cameras. I wasn't as good at the rules, which is not to say that I'm good at the rules now, but my level of rule quality was not as good. The players now do their calculations more or less instead of me doing everything, so battles are much faster. We've come a long way with this community, with artwork, with fan creations and collaborations, people submitting characters, people creating tools like the record sheets, and of course Dunamis Insidious's accessory pack. So I just want to really thank you guys. Like, this could not have been done without you, and even though A Time of Total Warfare is ending, we'll still be here if you need anything. That's it. Our first scene for the night is a I'm gonna say animated, but don't think anime, think cartoon, Western cartoon version of Prince Victor Ian Steiner Davian, and the voiceover goes, Prince Victor Davian, statesman, general, leader, hero, the first to defeat the clans, master of the katana, and his little like cartoon thing draws a katana and like those cowboy signs at hotels that have like 2 positions and it moves between them. His katana just continuously appears between 2 positions. Recently, he defeated an assassin trying to kill the coordinator of the Draconis Combine's daughter, Omiko Kurita, in single combat. Beloved by the Combine, the Federated Commonwealth, and indeed the entire Inner Sphere. 3 cheers for Prince Victor Davian. And then it cuts to Eric Vulgaris' character, Taggart Reznov. He is wearing Vietnam-era war paint on his face. His hair is covered with mud and dirt, and he's in a jungle looking very sad. And the voiceover goes, Taggart Reznov is Cade in Cade's War. And it turns into a really badly done trailer for the Saving Private Ryan version of the Clan Wars. It's just like a guy running over an open field, like just for no reason with a gun, and then like super dramatic scenes where Taggart's just like, "Mate, listen, the name is Cade, and I'm here to kick some ass." And then it covered, it's like based on the true stories. It's almost certainly a ripoff of Butch McGurk's life story. He's like, "No, me mum's been killed. I'm gonna declare clan war on the Jade Falcon clan." And then it's like him looking out over a cliffside crying, "Me mum, I'll get you Jade Falcons." And the final scene of the trailer is him in like a ditch talking to an elemental who's slowly dying, and he goes, "It was a war, a dirty war, a human war." And then the announcer goes, "It was Cade's War." Cade's War releasing next week. Bandito, when we see you're walking past where this advertisement on the Canopian jump ship is. You are being escorted by 4 women in dark black suits with huge bulges underneath the left shoulder to indicate that they're carrying very large pistols. They have dark sunglasses, and occasionally they talk into hand mics, or they put their hand to their ear to indicate that they're super badasses.
All right, ladies, if you're going to be discreet like that, you can do it a little bit more. All right? You make yourselves really obvious.
One of them just gently pushes you and says, "Sir, this way."
Oh, of course. Sorry.
There's,
Just trying to help you out.
This is our jump ship. An embassy. We're here to protect you, sir. We're not trying to hide who we are.
Oh, okay.
Would you like us to hide who you are? We could throw a coat over you,
No,
like they
I don't
do in the
care.
Holovids when they haul in criminals.
I don't care. If people have problems with me, they'll tell them themselves.
All right, so while you're talking, after you say you don't care, she pushes you again. But this time it's not like a gentle push, it's like a, "Okay, get moving" push.
Okay.
You are led to a executive elevator, which takes you up to like a card-only lounge, where access appears to be limited to these bodyguards who wave you in.
I guess to go in, I'm not handcuffed or anything, am I?
You're not. So
Okay.
the music in here, you don't understand what's happening. You're definitely sure that the person singing the music is Billy Wyndham Williamson IV, Esquire. He's singing an acoustic version of "Follow Me" by Uncle Kracker, but every once in a while there's some Sleemow thrown into it.
This is the last thing I wanted to hear before I die.
It's very lounge singerish, actually. It's like if lounge singer met grunge.
This is one of the cases where he's actually a good singer, but he just
Oh no,
kills
he actually
everything
no,
with
he's a very good classically trained singer.
okay, he just kills his voice with a bunch of like the auto tune and then like
No, he doesn't auto-tune for Sleemow. Sleemow is rap jazz, industrial fusion.
Sounds of the Mech Bay.
Yeah, it's the sound of the Mech Bay. Mecha is a man's soul, man.
Fair enough.
After a few moments, a door built into the bar opens up that you didn't see. It's clearly some sort of, mysterious secret passage, which will tell you a lot about the owner of this jump ship. And Denai Centrella, the heir to the magistrix, floats in an evening dress, clearly being in the zero gravity, being held in place by what must almost certainly be Princess Leia tape. Yes, Glimo, it is a Richard Cheese reference for sure. 100%. That guy puts out some good stuff, including the Imperial
Lounge
March.
Against the Machine.
Oh, listen, Rage Against the Machine is my whole life.
Lounge Against the Machine.
That is one of his album titles, yes.
I think it's easily his best album, honestly.
As she floats over, she offers you a drink of some sort of dark wine glass and gestures for you to strap in and sit at a table where a chess set has been laid out. And she elegantly, gracefully slides in. It's hard for you to imagine that a human is capable of moving in such a way in zero gravity while still making it look totally effortless. Despite the fact that what she's essentially doing is entering a chair upside down and then putting a seatbelt on.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go enter the yellow chair and put the seatbelt on.
Major Gray, can I call you Vincent?
Absolutely.
What is your relationship with Miss Lockwood?
She is my friend and colleague.
I see, we're not on the same page here.
What page we're supposed to be on? I feel like I need to be informed with the page.
She coughs lightly and says, this is, how should I put this so it does not sound crass? You are what I would consider a reference for her.
Yeah?
Yes. I'm here to learn about her professionally, not your social relationship. But now that you mention it, what is your social relationship to Miss Lockwood?
She is my friend and colleague.
Where I come from, men and women are not friends.
Well,
I find that it's just various degrees of manipulation.
Well, where I come from, they are.
Where is it that you come from, Vincent?
Well, originally the Free Worlds League, and then up and about and around there.
How
And then
quaint.
later on became a Lyran citizen, and now I'm here.
You certainly have lived a storied life.
I suppose. As far as professionally, she's a fantastic mech pilot along with a fantastic surgeon.
See. You have no qualms about her qualifications at all? Nothing unusual about her behavior?
No.
How would you rate her social skills with other people?
Somewhere in between better than mine and not.
Not what?
Not better than mine.
How can she be
been,
both better than you and not better than you?
I said somewhere in between. So essentially, she's on the same level as me.
So this woman is reconsidering the meeting immediately.
Good. She could be better.
I see that your Free Worlds League's rustic charm has really brought out the entirety of your personality.
Right. I've been a mercenary all my life, so I've learned to do with more survival of the fittest rather than survival of know who you can know. Until recently, it's been the latter instead of the fittest. Aside from fighting a mech.
I want to be clear that there is a long pause between each of the following actions. She picks up the wine glass and looks at the wine inside of it. And when I say glass, of course, I mean like a bulb, because you're in space and you don't want to let liquids flow around. Then she takes a sip of it and appreciates it, then puts it back down on the table, and then puts her hands in her lap. And each of those, again, punctuated by a long, silent pause.
Okay.
How would you rate her? Well, I suppose I should just come out and say it. Her skills as a assassin, infiltrator, personal combat, close quarters, ranged. I'm looking for her qualifications on the battlefield and the battlefield of the bedroom.
I'm going to ignore the latter part.
Please don't. I am
Okay.
solely interested in her qualifications for.
I have no idea
Murder.
about the latter part. As far as her field combat and infiltration expertise.
You have never seen her stab anyone to death or
No, when I say
sneak
the latter
into
part,
a room.
I'm speaking about the bedroom deal. I have
I see.
nothing.
I understand that we're speaking a different language here again.
Yeah,
I require her work as both a noble and an assassin. So when I say the bedroom battlefield, I will require her to sneak into people's bedrooms and kill them.
okay.
Duh.
I do not require her skill in the bedroom arts, only in murder.
That's what I'm referring to whenever I ask how somebody is in the bedroom.
I mean, she did say bedroom battlefield.
Well, that's what I call it too.
It's a
Love
we have a
is
very
the
different
battlefields.
we have a very different culture in Canopus from the rest of the inner sphere. I understand.
I understand.
So please regale me with her professional qualifications.
She is good with support weaponry, not so much with much else.
You're talking about rocket launchers and machine guns and the
Rocket
like.
launchers, autocannons, and what used to be sniper rifles. I feel like it changed somehow for some reason. I'm not really sure why.
I see. You don't ever see her
Because they
using
only do 4 damage.
rifles, pistols, knives.
Well, I attempted to hand her a pistol and a rifle, and she said that she would not be good with them. And I've seen her shoot on occasion, and it's not.
Someone tried to pass her a butter knife once.
I recall that
That's-
scene. Good time.
I attempted to stab somebody with a knife too.
True.
Her aim with a rocket launcher is surprisingly much better than her aim with a pistol. I don't know how it works because occasionally rockets tend to veer off from target.
So she tosses her hair and takes another sip of wine. Again, all long pauses.
When she tosses her hair, it just floats.
Yeah, 0 gravity. But it looks, I gotta tell you, it looks amazing though. Like, whoever her stylist is on this jump ship cruise, doing a fantastic job.
Are we actually playing chess or are we just sitting here talking?
She says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that you played.
Oh, yeah.
Please." She flips the board around so that you take white.
Okay.
I would prefer it if you were aggressive. I will allow you the first move.
Flips the table back around. Then I want to be black.
Like the entire
Vincent
table.
Gray, power bottom. That's what we learned today. So you're saying that her vaunted assassination skills are somewhat more catastrophic in nature.
I'm saying her skills are not keen to being of infiltration sneakily.
I understand.
More
I'm Major Vincent. I'm so glad we had this conversation. This has realigned my goals for her and my understanding of her skills. I don't know what that noise was, guys.
That was
of the
amazing.
Wilhelm scream.
It's a Wilhelm scream. yeah.
Wilhelm scream.
It got cut
I
off
have to
though.
say, it's like, did someone just get stabbed?
That occurred right outside her office. Like,
It's totally normal. You know how Canopians roll. You want to make a tactics roll against her for chess?
Sure. I'll
Okay.
roll and fail.
All right, you need a 17.
Oh, that's not great. Well, that's a 6. Well, spin an edge to reroll the 1. Why not?
That's a guy who thinks he's not going to need that edge.
Oh,
Wow, the 1 still showed up. Incredible.
Well,
rolled
it's
a 2 to a
but
1.
I have +5, so it's I failed anyway. The +5, 11, 12. So
At some point in the middle of the game, you come to understand that not only is she a major in the Magistracy Armed Forces, but there's probably a reason why she's the heir designate of the Magistracy, and that's because she's excellent at lying and manipulation and smoke screening. And you just look down at some point in the mid game and you're like, wow, I'm actually so fucked. I can't believe how you hit some point and then you're like, oh man, I'm actually mated in 4. Where did that, like, how did this happen? I don't want to say she looks smug. She definitely enjoys the victory, but not to the point of insulting you about it. For her, it was a good game.
I'm just the Bandito will man. It's like
Vincent, I understand that Christmas is arriving soon.
indeed,
2 weeks.
indeed.
You will receive a gift from my offices. I am curious as to what Lady Lockwood will be sending you. My understanding is that she shipped some sort of home...
Bandito's gonna have a stable of mechanical bulls?
Some sort of device from your home world to which you feel a great level of attraction to. Across the inner sphere in time for Christmas previously.
Yeah, she has an issue with the realization of how much a credit is worth. Or C bill.
I'm sorry, Bill. Yes.
Yes.
I understand. Interesting. So, what I'm working with here is a sort of diamond in the rough that needs to be polished.
If you want to put it that way, yeah.
Now, I realize this is very forward of me, Vincent, as she hasn't actually said that she'll be leaving your employ, but I can be very persuasive. I fully expect her to be returning with me after this trip.
I fully understand.
I want you to know there's no hard feelings when she chooses my employ over yours.
There'd be none. I understand there'd be some other better opportunities for her than our unit, of course. I know there always is. My commitment is to the Crow's Black. Ever since our original commander was killed in a clan attack.
Well, I appreciate the time that you spent with me today, and I hope that you've found our conversation fruitful as well.
Thank you for having me. It's been a lovely time. He says as he's like unbuckling himself and getting ready to leave.
So before you make it back to your shuttle, you receive a handwritten thank you note from her that she apparently wrote as soon as you left and had someone run float across the jump ship to get there before you. Like, this person is covered in sweat from having to like pull full speed high G turns around dropship corridors.
And
They had to EVA around the outside of the ship to beat you.
Well, conceivably that's a straight line, so it's probably the easiest way. Yeah, they like wipe their forehead off with kid gloves and go, Major Vincent Gray. The lady sends her regards with this thank you letter. It's like wax sealed with old timey like vellum. Selena, you are done having fun on your dropship excursion, your jump ship excursion, I should say. At some point, Vincent left you alone without saying where he was going. But it looks like maybe he had fun because he's receiving some sort of letter from another gentleman.
The letter smells of perfume.
The letter does smell of perfume, so he must have had a good time.
Fair enough.
He also stinks of wine too. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's a jump ship, so the air is all recycled.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I don't think Bandito drank at all. He's just kind of.
The aroma has been captured by your presence.
Did you have fun?
Something like that. I had to talk to your heir. I believe is the term.
My what?
The one lady. Shoot.
Dani Centrella.
Yeah, Dani Centrella. She graciously had a bunch of her guards come sneak by me and escort me to her office. And we had a conversation. And I didn't get shot this time. That's a plus.
Does that happen often for you?
Well, once on one occasion, and another time when I was trying to have fun, I got pulled to the side by gang members of the people who shot me. Yeah,
Is that why you hate fun?
that's why I hate fun. I don't go out much because of that. At least not by myself. Actually, you know what? The first time I wasn't by myself, it still happened. And the second time.
I think Selena's like pulling out her little therapist glasses.
You don't want to have this conversation. We're going to be here a while.
We have time.
Okay, when I said that, I'm trying not to have this conversation.
So what happens
So
is
you're avoiding it.
you both are on the shuttle, and the shuttle pilot comes back and says, listen, there was a problem with one of the O2 canisters it blew. Just to be safe, we're going to keep everyone on the shuttle while we clear the shuttle bay. So you're going to be locked in here for about 30-40 minutes. Then we'll be back on our way just as soon as we are sure that the shuttle is good to go. Again, just stay here and have fun, I guess.
It's going to be a real quick 15-20 hours. We'll be...
You can see that outside in the drop ship that you're taking off of, attached to the jump ship, people are like running around in a massive craze, like chasing an O2 canister that's just bouncing off of every wall, jetting around.
Is that where the Wilhelm scream comes from?
Yeah, that's where the Wilhelm scream comes from. There's probably like someone who grabbed it and is trying to wrestle with it, and then he gets slammed against the wall, and he's like, ugh, and he lies there, and blood is floating out from him, but the O2 canister is still bouncing around.
I can see Glimo aggressively trying to get it in the sample to play it on his Go XLR.
I actually wasn't, but I can.
Please don't. So the two of you are now locked in that shuttle, and I feel like that's where we fade, unless you really want to continue this scene, Bandito.
No, I
didn't think so. We cut it ahead in time several months until February the 13th, 3060. Acolyte Daniel Savoy, you've been hanging out with Crow's Black. You're the only Word of Blake attaché to this massive expeditionary force. You're not here in an official capacity, but as like, you know, a cool friend with a Battlemech and a tech team. However, there is an operative on your current jump ship who has called a meeting with you. So this is a deep cover deep cover sleeper agent in Crow's Black who has called you to a meeting in order to pass information to you. And
there's at least one other Blake guy that came and talked to me, though, right?
Yes, but that was all the way back on. That was 2 whole planets ago.
Okay.
And that guy has his own dropship, and he did not come on this expedition.
That was before we split.
Yes, he was a preacher.
Got it.
I don't know if you know this, but they didn't bring preachers on this particular expedition.
No chaplains? Okay. All right.
Well, listen, they brought chaplains, but I mean, technically, in the Word of Blake, everybody's a chaplain.
Oh, okay.
Is this the guy that I?
Yes, this is the masked hooded figure
in my last.
Correct.
The last scene of my last appearance. Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
So, you've been given instructions to meet this person. They outrank you in the order, in the Holy Order of Blake, and the instructions came in the form of newspaper clippings, to a page, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
at a dead drop that you're supposed to check every few days. Yeah, so it's all very Cold War-ish.
All very serial killer. Yep. Okay.
Do you attend this meeting? I mean, for all you know, you could be serial killed at this meeting at this point.
I mean, if Rom has been telling me to check this,
yes,
to check dead drops.
Well, listen, there's no one who ranks higher than you on this, except for this person who's an undercover operative. You're the only like full Word of Blake acolyte here. Everyone else is an adept who works for you. There's only 7 other Blakeists.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rom has told you to check for it, but it's not like there's a Rom agent over your shoulder going, Ooh, did you do your job lately? We need a performance review.
Yeah, but I feel like
It's time for what would they call it? Like not indoctrination, but like behavioral adjustment.
I feel like, you know, Harbinger probably has, you know, like the fear of the Spanish Inquisition.
That's
you know,
a good
when
fear.
it comes
Yeah.
when it comes to Rom. You know, I'm assuming this has been pushed into him, perhaps through drugs.
No, listen. Let me ask. Do you actually believe in the word of Blake?
Yes.
All right. Then you would. It's so Word of Blake internal security is called the Obedience Division, and you haven't had to spend any time with them. You know, you haven't had to have any adjustments made to your internal belief structure yet.
I still feel like you know, he if Rom is a knockin', you know, he feels like he doesn't have the ability to say no.
Okay.
So at least on, you know, I mean, like, until they tell him to go murder some babies, then maybe we'll have a discussion.
Wow,
but
you have
like,
very
you know,
low expectations for Word of Blake.
if it's just, you know, oh, you know, check this dead drop every week to see if we have a message for you, you
Yeah.
know.
Hey,
I like
listen.
the fact that murdering babies is a line you drew.
Yeah,
You know,
listen.
he was-
I have to tell you, from Word of Blake's point of view, they're the ones that saved all humanity from the clans by fighting the Battle of Tukid, and Comstar are the interferers who tried to ruin that.
Absolutely, and you know, Harbinger was with them when they retook Terra, so, you know, like, he's a true believer. So, you know, if they tell him, you know, up until they ask him to do something that violates his personal moral code, and check this dead drop doesn't, you know, that is not in that violation. So yes, he goes to the meeting.
So you are called off of the jump ship that Crows Black's first company is attached to, the CSV Discerning Valor. You are called to one of the Capellian jump ships, actually,
Interesting.
for a meeting with your mysterious,
Scared me. What was that?
let's say, benefactor.
I'm in the middle of some, like, random noodle house.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cafeteria that has noodles at it. Someone sits across from you. They're wearing like a tech helmet that covers their face, so you wouldn't really be able to tell who they are otherwise. Almost like X-Wing pilot-ish jump fatigues. And when they remove the helmet, it's Rapier.
Whoa. Brother Rapier.
Brother Jenkins. Acolyte Savoy. It has been some time since our previous meeting.
It has. Although we met at other times, and I didn't realize. I always knew you were in the order, but I didn't realize your standing.
Rom reaches far.
I
I
hope I didn't give any offense.
No, I replaced the original owner of this face some time ago.
Holy crap. So in character, he's a little bit shaken by this, but, you know, tries to not let too much of it show. And says, I see. Very well. What service can I offer to Rom?
You seem disturbed.
I was friendly with the previous owner of that face. It's a lot to take in.
That man died on the planet Rubigen during a raid by Crows Black. Yeah, chat has already figured it out.
Yeah. It was too good to be true that you made it back.
This operative was prepared for that eventuality. The word of Blake's networks inside of Crow's Black's somewhat pathetic information security allowed us to alter genetic data, teeth modeling. Overall,
Rubigen, that was like season 2, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So Harbinger has only known.
Harbinger has
rapier.
only known this rapier. Correct.
Okay. I see. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you there. I thought that. So we have only known each other. I did not know the previous. Very well. What service can I be to the order?
The task is a simple one, and he slides over like a data tablet. The initial jumps were difficult to acquire the data from, but by pretending to be a drunken lout and being thrown in the brig on various drop ships and jump ships outside of Comstar's purview, I've been able to acquire bits and pieces of the jump transit network. Whether this operation succeeds or fails is of little interest to the word of Blake. Surely, it is not capable of taking on all of the clans at once. Our information indicates that there are 19 of them, and even should the Smoke Jaguars fall, fighting the other 18 will be quite a ordeal. The word of Blake will be the inheritors of the Star League legacy. Not this foolish, incredibly foolish, false Star League of Sun Tzu Liao. And he's saying this quietly because, of course, he's on a Capellian jump ship. Right? We do not have the full star charts, but using these pieces and explorator data from the exploration course, we may be able to, at the end of this journey, piece together a map to the clan homeworlds for Word of Blake. Then the Sword of Blake will descend and free mankind from this horrifying scourge. The jihad will begin.
Then let it begin.
My position in the unit is one that I cannot easily possess this data, but by hiding it within your mech, I believe it can pass through Comstar's routine scans.
You don't think that as a obvious Word of Blake mech that I will be under higher scrutiny from?
Do you allow them access to your mech?
I don't, but you know that as well as I do that they're highly placed on this and we are few in number. I'm assuming that I stand out and that you do better to hide this data inside someone else's. I'm willing to carry the cause, brother. I'm concerned.
Acolyte. This mission comes from the very top, from the master himself.
I hear and obey.
Know that there are many paths to success.
My concern is
you don't need to know, Acolyte.
Well.
You only need to serve. Carry this data, protect it with your life.
I serve in the name of Blake.
Then he pulls out some chopsticks and very rudely begins. Several people nearby look over and they're like, oh, what a jackass. Then he readopts his rapier persona and is like, whoo-wee, can't wait to have some noodles.
I similarly am playing along. I take the chopsticks out and,
Wow, Chad has a lot to say about the rapier betrayal.
It's not really betrayal when he died and was switched out.
He died as he lived, riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not how he died, but sure.
So that happened.
Yeah, that happened.
I imagine he was tortured for several days after he was captured.
I mean, I want to remind you that the last scene of Rapier on that planet was him
He
blowing
had a
himself up.
detonator.
Yeah.
What's on this data pad?
So the data pad has incomplete jump coordinates. So like stars where you can stop and refuel at, and the big ones on here are the stars you stop to pick up food and water at.
Okay.
So there are not all of them are on there. So it has a rudimentary, very low resolution data of the entire inner spheres known, and the Word of Blake chart is way more accurate than any personal. Like someone who looked at a jump chart and saw this would be like, "Wow, holy shit! Word of Blake has like secret outposts everywhere." So it's like if someone took the whole jump network to the clans and then removed like random pieces from it everywhere. So like 2 or 3 stars are missing, and it makes a gap in the line that you'd have to be like, well, how do we get there? Right? Yep. It's not a perfect map, but if there's anyone else that's doing this and they compare the two, at the very least, it gives you a direction and a general heading. You know, when you're having to move in 3 dimensions through random space, this is a pretty good place to start. Food and water, super big, because I don't know if you know this, but the number of stars you can stop at and get oxygen and water on a regular and food on a regular basis, very small.
Okay.
Just so Chad knows, this is one of those scenes that was supposed to occur in season 5. So this was going to be like a 2.5, 3 year long reveal. Big stuff.
So in my mech, is there like a black box? You know, is there some sort of like lead shield?
You have a unit in your mech called a diagnostic interpreter.
Okay.
So it takes all of the data from all of the other systems in your mech and is basically like the central core. You can remove it and like replay old battles through it, or you can insert false information into it, and it's like the base programming code, right? Like you could write code here that says whenever you pull the trigger to fire medium laser does not fire but reads as having been fired, essentially.
Okay. So what I'm asking for is there like a lead lined box in my mech that I can slip this pad into so it won't get picked up by casual sensor sweep of my mech?
You can seal it inside the diagnostic interpreter's case.
Perfect. That is what I am going to do with this at my first opportunity.
All right. So you immediately head back to the Discerning Valor and get into your mech and strap this thing in?
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want out of this scene? Oh, I feel like some sort of very evil pipe organ music playing during it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Toccata and Fugue in D minor, but like an evil version of.
That's all I got.
It's February 13th. Caroline Hauser, what do you got going on?
I don't know how far out are we from our completed journey now.
They expect that you will arrive sometime in early April.
Okay. So it's probably still
month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, it's probably still business. I mean, I feel like I know that when I take like a 15-hour flight, like 6 hours before the flight's about to end, I feel like I'm getting ready for the flight to end. Yeah. Even though it's so I
that's
feel like
I'm Flash Qantas right there.
Yeah. So I feel like when you're only a month away, we're already like in this sort of preparation for arrival. So starting to clean up and get mechs ready, that sort of stuff. So I probably spend too much time around the mech bay, or probably less of that social time I was doing previously, and I'm starting to sort of prep for landing in a month's time. I don't know if that leads into any of the scenes that you wanted as such.
It does, in fact. So you are in your mech cockpit working on stuff, And I want you to imagine that the door at the back of the cockpit, someone comes floating upside down, but you see their hair flowing down before they get there. And they stop and they're like, "What's up, bitch? Let's go drinking." And it is Melissa Crossroads, aka Captain Melissa Crossroads Prince.
All right. Am I in the middle of something, or can I leave what I'm doing and come back to it later?
That's a great question. You tell me.
Okay, no, I think that I'll just, okay. Give me 2 minutes. And,
All right, fine.
I'm
yeah.
in.
Listen, I'll pilot the shuttle over personally.
All right. I'll just put this back together again.
Okay. All right. So I want you to imagine that a shuttle has, against all military protocol, shimmied its way next to your mech. Like, it's annoyingly placed so that when you look out the cockpit, the shuttle is floating there, being perfectly held in place by thruster blasts. This is against all military protocol and sense. You should have to board it on the ground across the bay in the aerospace area.
So she's just showing off, really.
Oh yeah, she's hot dogging for sure. Yeah,
No worries.
this is very typical of her.
So I feel like as well. So because I've got gremlins as a negative trait, I feel that like the way it manifests for Medusa is that she's one of those people that whenever she starts working on something, she always ends up getting distracted by, like, when she's like laser focused on the task, no problem. But when things she can be distracted, she starts doing other things. Like I was just here to put new oil in the engine. Oh, but look, while I'm doing that, it looks like there's a bit of oil around the head, so I'm just clean the head off. Oh, but then these high tension leads, they need to be pulled out as well. Oh, the spark plugs will probably be changed as well. And like, I end up completing one job and leaving half a dozen other jobs that were like partially started. So I feel like it's one of those sort of things where she just gets distracted by going down a rabbit hole of all sorts of things to work on, and so bits and pieces are floating in the mech cockpit waiting to be put back into place again as well. So probably that 2 minutes becomes more like 10 minutes trying to get everything back into place again before she's ready to
go. The shuttle is honking at you every few minutes. When you finally get inside, before you're fully strapped in, it lurches towards the aerospace bay. There's techs everywhere that are just like, "She's a madman," and someone's like, "It's the captain! Everybody run!" She gets to the airlock. She interfaces the shuttle out of the ship through one of the launch bays, and she's just like, "Oh my goodness, I don't get to do this enough. You know, I wanted to be a warship pilot, and that was tough in a time when we didn't even have warships, and now they got me flying around this huge hog, and we don't even go anywhere. We're just stuck to a dropship the whole time. Caroline, we're just stuck to a dropship the whole time. Oh, it's terrible. It's so terrible." She takes a sip from a flask and then floats it back to you.
All right, so what does it smell like?
It smells a lot like whiskey.
Okay. I thought we were going drinking. It looks like you've already started.
Yeah.
So where are we going?
It's called pregame.
Yeah. She flies you over to one of the more party-ish jump ship combinations. One of the free Rasselhag Republic Dracons jump ships. They're known to be a pretty good military unit with pretty bad leadership and an intense party atmosphere. There's lots of talk about how the fight against the clans are going to end up being Valhalla. So, yeah, like everyone is drinking all of the time there. And she's just like, "Oh, it's going to be so sour over there, but they have pretty good music. I cannot believe the level of spirituality one can achieve while listening to Swedish versions of sutras and hymnals." Oh, you're like one of those, you know, you're into that Japanese stuff, right?
I wouldn't. I mean, I don't speak Japanese. I have sort of like been experimenting with Buddhism, which is not really Japanese.
Yeah, it's Japanese. Oh, okay. All right. I'm not going to argue with you. As she says that, she starts doing a barrel roll, like a really slow one.
I mean, I feel like all these maneuvers are probably less violent in space where there's no inertia to really. Oh, sorry. Well,
it introduces, yeah. Right, like when it starts, you're like, oh, I'm permanently moving right now. That's just how my life is.
That's it. Suddenly she reminds me of the girl from Starship Troopers. All of a sudden,
Denise Richards.
That's it, yeah.
Imagine that, but drunker and partier.
Yeah. Okay. Now, look. So, I mean, Medusa's up for this. You know, if she'll get her drink on, no problem. I mean, how old is Melissa?
Mid-20s.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact age. I have it written down somewhere though. But yeah, mid-20s.
Okay.
Well, they were like 15, 14 back in 30, 50.
50, right? And it's 60 now. So.
Okay. So she'll be like.
No, they were like 15, 16. Yeah. So she's in her mid-20s for sure.
Okay. So Alice is a little bit older, but not very much.
So we cut from this scene of her having, tons of fun messing with you and doing flight to her with a mug of some sort of dark brew, crying over her drink. Yeah. It's super depressing.
I was waiting for sad drunk. So what is sad drunk? What is the?
She's just like, I don't want to be around my kid, but I also don't want to not be around my kid. Like, I left them behind, but I did want to leave them behind, but I didn't want to leave them behind. And, I want to serve the Lyran Alliance, but I don't want to, not serve the Lyran Alliance or serve Caroline. Oh my God. It is tough. Relationships, right? Like, you just want to have some fun with some guys and then go home to your husband, right? Like, you get where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean,
like,
at the end of the day,
the Kenobians have it right, okay? The sex is just one part of a relationship, okay? And the Major was coming down on me a couple months ago, and every few months I feel like he looks at me and he just wants to say something to me, but he knows that I'm too hard for him. I'm way too hard for him. He can't approach me. He can't approach me, Caroline.
He's terrified of you.
Good. He should be. I am the best at what I do. I am one of the best pilots in the entire galaxy. Clans can't even match me. I've proven that more than once. I'm good. Relationships, right?
Yeah. No, look, I'm the same. I know I've got to eventually go back to Colradi and marry for the family, but that doesn't mean I can't have to
marry for the family. Right? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. You have to marry for the family. But then you also have, a couple on the side.
Yeah, that's why I feel guilty about what happened with Billy.
Why?
He was good, and this whole breakdown of we're not a military unit, but it feels like we're a military unit. So I figure we've got a no fraternization policy, and so that was a straightforward decision, right? I mean, Billy agreed with it too, but then every time I see him, I feel like I've just kicked a puppy.
Don't worry about Billy. He'll get back on his feet. He seems like he's a real player, like a bad one, but just put him back on Solaris. He'll be back. He's like a fish out of his environment. He's just flopping around out here. I already tried to make 2 passes at Selena, who's like so far out of his league. All right, imagine that Billy is Terra. Selena is where we're at right now. That's how far out of his league.
Yeah, I didn't believe in the leagues thing anyway, but
yeah, listen, you don't need to believe in the leagues thing, because you know what? I'm just gonna say it. You're like Blair Athol, okay? You Terra to Blair, he can't make that jump to you. You are the Blair Athol of people, Caroline. She reaches her hand across the table but doesn't quite reach you. It's looking at you very seriously.
So how do you think I got the call sign?
Wow.
Resting bitch face.
Wow.
It was this was a nicer version of that.
Truth. There's power in your words.
So My plan is to try and get her so drunk now that she's going to pass out. Effectively, like I don't want her. I don't want her trying to fly the ship back.
Okay.
So I'd rather.
I want to point out though that
I
she
don't
is the one
wanna-
who flew you over here.
I know. So, but that's the thing. I'd rather stay on this ship until she sobers up, or get someone else to fly us back, than run the risk that
All
she's
right,
going to try
just
and fly
know
us
you're
back.
both going to get in trouble for that.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
I think it's less trouble than if she tries to pilot her shuttle
All right.
back.
Your
in
target
this way.
is very drunk, and she is a basic party girl. So the difficulty for this is only an 11. Let's say it's negotiation.
Okay.
It's not the easiest thing you've ever done, but certainly we're not looking at a difficult skill challenge here. You're not trying to beat the magistrates in a game of chess. Wow.
Oh yeah. That's 14 total.
Wow. It doesn't even take you that long to convince her to drink, right? She's putting Timbiki darks down left and right. She tells you about this drink that the Jade Falcon clan has called a PPC, and then just slams it right in front of you and passes out several seconds later.
All right. So then I'll try to find somewhere that we can like stay here, or you know, I don't know if there's like a. I mean, Medusa's been drinking too, just not quite as heavily. So.
So there are probably guest rooms on the jump ship for situations that I assume that something like this happens on a regular basis in this fleet.
Okay. So I mean, the good thing about zero gravity is I don't need to carry her. I can just sort of push her in the general direction and make sure she doesn't hit any bulkheads. Okay.
It's hard space shipbreaker. Yeah.
Do I have any tethers I can use? No.
I was gonna say the real problem is going around corners, right? Because you got to break her momentum and then give her a new one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like Medusa getting around the shuttle is like a person that doesn't ice skate on an ice skate rink. Like she stays close to the walls at all times, so she's got something to hang on to, and pulls herself along the wall rather than thrusting herself off into open space, hoping to reach where she wants to get.
Yep. Listen, that's a smart way for landlubbers like you to do it, and I have to tell you that probably you now have more space experience than most like 5-year merchant marines because you've spent months in space with no break. You do it pretty good, even dragging a drunken 120-pound woman behind you. It's folded in half like an accordion.
I'll probably. I mean, there's like, is there a thing I can just send off a message between other ships?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Comstar's running the communications network here.
Okay.
It's
I will send a message to the major to say that I've got the captain on this ship. She's in no state to come back right now. We'll be back before 0800 tomorrow, sort of thing.
Vincent, the message arrives and it has several typing errors that indicate that Carolyn is also drunk. Not too drunk to send you a message and bunker down. You know, she's designated driving like she should.
That's right. It's drunk texting.
Drunk.
Yeah.
It probably starts off with you. Major, I love you. I've got Melissa here. I don't. Me personally, I don't drink, but I get a lot of late night drunk texts from friends, so I know what they look like.
Yeah.
This is
I
the
think the only
sober
thing she has
cast.
to
Here I
reply
am,
Me too. Listen, I don't drink often, but I went to college, so I know what this kind of drinking is like. I was a different person then. Yeah. So I mean, when Captain, her technical rank is commander, but when the captain wakes up several hours later, I think you probably, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably also snooze and take a nap as well, because otherwise you're just sitting around getting a hangover overnight. She wakes up in the morning, she's perfectly fine, and she's just like, oh, where are we? Caroline, wake up, where are we?
Oh, we're still on that party ship.
Oh, the Dracons, right. All right, I'll get you some coffee and like a breakfast burrito. Just wait here. I've already had a shower. You'll be fine.
God, I could go for a breakfast burrito right now.
Yeah, me too, right? You know what?
Breakfast burritos, those are my favorite.
And let me tell you something. I had one recently where like it was extra spicy with lots of jalapenos in it. I was like, this is the only way I want breakfast burritos from now on.
I could eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm not even gonna lie.
They're like pizza bagels. You know, you could have pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time.
My dad used to work with a lady who would make breakfast burritos from scratch, including homemade tortillas, and that's the most amazing thing you will ever eat.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Everything is the correct color now. Oof. Ooh, these glasses. Holy shit. All right, time to go back to Mexico. Boom, I'm there. Everything's yellow again. Sorry, I have these blue light lenses. They're supposed to help me keep my eyes less tired from looking at screens for 12 hours a day.
Are they working?
I think that they are, actually, but I hate wearing them. It's a battle between having to look at my face wearing the glasses and also seeing everything in yellow vision. I constantly feel like a gunfight is about to break out.
If you don't mind me saying so, they look too small for you.
There's only one size available on Amazon. So
really,
I don't disagree with you. I believe you're correct. That's all I got.
Okay.
It's not like I'm going to walk into a glasses store right now and be like, attendant, stand very close to me and help me fit glasses to my face.
Attend me.
I would like you to breathe near me for an extended period of time, if you wouldn't mind.
Did the glasses cause tumbleweeds to manifest?
Well, not yet, but we'll see. When she comes back, she's got 2 breakfast burritos in like space breakfast wraps so that everything doesn't go everywhere. And she's just like, listen, as she tries to tuck some hair behind her ear, but it's space, so she does it successfully, but then it floats away. What we talked about last night. I was drunk. Don't share it around, you know. And no matter what happens, don't tell the major, okay? Or my husband, right? It's a personal matter. Just like I won't tell Billy about some of the things you mentioned last night.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
What happens here stays here. That's fine.
Bro code. Exactly.
No, thanks for taking me out as well last night. It was
Thank
good.
you for taking me out. I haven't got that drunk in a while.
Somehow I doubt that.
Which just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah. just a loud scoff from the background.
She says, it's really tough to find good drinking partners in the first company. You know, it's not appropriate drinking with my dropship staff, and the Comstar has a stick up their ass. And I don't know, I feel like drinking with Selena, for some reason I get a disturbing vibe from that image. I just, you know, for some reason I don't trust her. She seems like she's too good, you know?
Well, she's probably a completely different person when she's drunk.
You know, I feel like she's always putting on a mask for everyone, all the time.
I just think that she doesn't know what everyone else wants her to be, and so she tries to be what she thinks that they want her to be.
That's so deep. That's so deep. I don't agree with it, but that is deep.
Well, you've known her longer than I have.
We have not talked ever, I think. I know that her player was a huge fan of my relationship with my husband, but we have never actually talked in character, according to these notes. It's not a thing that you would say, because that...
but it's inferred.
It's inferred, for sure.
I mean, she and I don't talk much beyond what we do on the battlefield and what we do in briefings. So I said, I'm the new fish in this pond, so I don't try to make too many waves.
Well, look. You're literally the only person on the dropship I can drink with. So I hope that I can call on you in the future. I don't know why it took me so many months to get around. Oh shit, it's Valentine's Day. She says as she looks at the wall clock. Then she looks around and says,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, find a gift store. I hope the Dracons have a gift shop somewhere on this.
What is Hal like?
And then she gets out her phone and she's got like a ton of messages, and like several are from the like large flashing red texts are all from her husband. Like, where are you? I thought we were gonna do something this morning. And she's like, what is he like? Me?
Scrapple. He likes Scrapple.
Scrapple? Apparently that's canon now. He likes Crow's Black and, you know, mercenarying, and, you know, he loves our kid even if we can't stand being around him for long periods of time. And she's depressed again immediately and is like, all right, let's go see if we can find the gift shop.
And then I guess give him yourself for the day as well.
Do I have to? Yeah, I guess.
Like you said, the first thing you said when I asked you what he liked is you said you. So that being said, these burritos are pretty good too, though. So
yeah,
maybe take some, get some to go, take them back.
Okay, they're gonna have to go through quarantine when we get back to the dropship, but we'll. I don't know if he wants 2-hour-old burritos, but we'll make it work. Anything else you want to do on the mad voyage with Melissa Crossroads?
No, that's fine.
This is another season. Listen, never mind. There's a season 5 scene that I've been planning literally since the day I introduced Melissa, and that is her death in season 5. And now you never get to see it. You will never see it, and the notes are like 4 paragraphs long. It was so good.
So it's probably a good thing I didn't get her to fly back when she was drunk.
That's not a role I would have wanted to have made. Can we get a flash forward? I'll think about it. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is Battletech Bingo on the episode where Eric joins us, because that way I can have references in all of the squares. Especially if Pondo gets double Gauss Rifle Daishi. Quad Gauss Rifle Daishi.
It's much more achievable with a clan mech than it is a Intersphere mech.
Correct.
Not have only like a round of ammunition, maybe 2, I think is what I had.
Warrant
Honestly,
Officer... Go ahead.
Is it back to me?
Well,
No,
it's Warrant Officer Butch McGurk and Major Vincent Gray. You were both summoned on Valentine's Day to the General's office aboard the Fortress-class dropship. Aboard the Viper Slayer, which means you'll need to take a shuttle over.
Okay, tell me who the general is.
The general,
not our commander.
no, your commander. Yes.
Oh, our commander. Okay.
His rank is Brigadier General.
It is general. Okay.
Yeah.
What was Admiral?
Gotcha.
Akira Oda.
Wasn't he? He was an admiral, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a light admiral. Yes, lowest ranking. I believe it's called for the U.S. Navy. It's rear admiral, lower half.
Yeah.
It's called Shosho in the Draconis Combine. But his current rank is general of Crow's Black.
Gotcha.
It's a little weird for a general to be commanding a battalion, but
Brigadier General?
yes. I wrote Brigadier General, which I believe is the lowest ranking general in the...
That's correct.
Yes.
In SDLF rankings, right? Because there's weird shit in the Battletech universe where you can have force commanders and ensigns and subalterns.
But you'd still address him as general, wouldn't you?
Correct.
Yeah,
you still address him as general. Yeah. So I mean, you are invited. The two of you are invited to a meeting with the general, and it's an official one. Like, you knew that this was coming up.
Sure. Yeah, I'll show up. Properly dressed.
On the shuttle
time.
over, the shuttle pilot is like talking over the like ham radio with another shuttle pilot, mentioning that the captain is missing off of the ship again and she's late for duty, and make sure don't run into her, because of course she's probably going max speed wherever she is, breaking wake regulations. People have a comm network out trying to keep track of where Melissa Prince Acheron is, just so that they can avoid her when they see her. like truckers who find another asshole trucker and are like, hey, anybody seen that big rig around here? Stay away from it. Major Vincent Gray. Show up. What do you show up in? How you do it?
Probably the military fatigues.
Okay.
Is this like is it noted as like a formal event or anything?
No,
or?
it is a meeting with the commanding officer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just regular fatigues then.
Okay. So it's not his official office, but it's the like the ready room. Sorry, what do they call it in Star Trek? The really nice room that they have all their actual good meetings in. No, it's called the ready room. Yes, it's the ready room of the Fortress class dropship Viper Slayer, which has been co-opted by the commanding general of the group. He is kind of casual. I mean, he's wearing crow's black military fatigues, and like a very nice hat. We're talking old style 1800s tricorn. Made of leather. Genuine leather. Sorry. When I say genuine leather, I mean it's actually leather, but not genuine leather, because the terminology genuine leather means the worst possible leather you can get that's actually real. It's good. It's a good hat. Looks like it might be authentic. Like 1,000+ years old. Restored. He says, gentlemen, please sit. We have several topics to talk upon.
I have a seat.
So is Vincent Gray.
Takes a deep breath and says, to my great concern, Prince Victor Ian Steiner Davian, the commander of this fleet, for reasons that are beyond me when his superior officer is among us, has taken a great interest in you in particular, Major Gray. In this unit, apparently you've done him at least one great service in the recent past, and we will be tasked with supporting his 10th Lyran Guards. Now, I want to let you know privately, and this is not to leave this room, I have some very serious concerns about the Prince. Beyond his co-opting Draconis Combine culture by waving around a katana and showing off his scars where he was recently nearly stabbed to death, now he's all into poetry and haikus and gardening and bonsai trees. It seems that I've seen this before in visitors to the Combine who fall deeply into our rich cultural history and believe that they can walk among us. Odd. But on top of that, I do not find the Prince to be a very good military leader. He's lost every military unit he's ever commanded. The highest rank he achieved was Major, which he was assigned by his father. Because he's a Duke, he was given command of a battalion. You've seen the propaganda films across the fleet and perhaps back in the Inner Sphere, but the man lost half his realm to his sister. Incredible. The level of just awful. He is a terrible military commander, and I have no confidence in his ability. So our unit needs to be prepared to be sacrificed by him.
Well, that's a tall order.
The 10th Lyran Guards are his premier unit. They fight where he fights, and they've been intact for a while, but I assume that he'll drive them into the ground at some point as well, just like every other unit he has. Wherever we land on Huntress, we will be on one of their flanks, acting as support. And as such, I would like your company, Major, to act as our extreme flank as a result.
I believe that can be doable.
That said, I've been negotiating with several units, and the Capellians had a J-27 ammunition truck that they weren't using. Now, I'm not here to shake this unit up. While I would prefer that we begin using some of the military technology of the Draconis Combine, like C3 computing systems and advanced tactics, perhaps if we could get a copy of the Mech Commander software that the FedComs are using, we could take a look at that. But for now, your unique style of battle is what works for this unit, and I'm not here to change that at this time. I do want to offer you this ammunition truck, however. My understanding is that your unit works very well with Arrow 4 homing missiles and TAG. This ammunition truck could be used to speedily reload your personal catapult 4 times with Arrow 4 missiles, increasing the number of ammunition it fires from 5 to 25 over the course of a battle. I think you'll agree that this is a fairly good use of military resources.
Certainly.
There is a price more than just C-bills. Were an officer, I won't order you to do this, but there is something of a underground wrestling ring that has popped up. And the Capellians would like you to participate.
Butch McGurk.
Is it the luchador mask?
As El Guapo. My understanding is you gave up that life when you took the mask off. Indeed, I shouldn't even know that you are El Guapo, except it's clearly marked in your personnel file since you participated in several theatrical operations on Crow's Black's dime. But could you take this mask back up and once more dominate the ring with your power?
I'd be happy to participate, but I will not be taking the mask back up.
I understand.
That's a matter of family heritage, and it's not something I'm willing to compromise, I'm afraid.
It's something to discuss with the Capellians, then. I'm afraid I don't understand the allure of the mask.
That's understandable.
Where I come from, warriors show their faces and declare their heritages proudly. Such unusual styles of combat are beyond me.
It is a unique matter of theatrical presentation.
So he just has to kick some ass in wrestling for us to get the truck?
Well, we are paying, hundreds of thousands of C-bills for it, and it will require a transfer maneuver between 2 drop ships that are attached to different jump ships. But yes, we will acquire this truck. They have more than they need, and we require it. Major, I wanted to ask your opinion of your interactions with Prince Victor. Obviously, I've given you my honest opinion on him, and I would prefer your honest opinion as well, as to the tasks and the nature of your relationship. And I appreciate honesty more than ass kissing here, so.
As far as communications went with the Prince, our unit didn't have much as far as guidance or orders that he gave us other than to just defend our hold, in which we did.
That sounds like everything I have come to know about the Prince.
So I don't have any personal experience, nor did any of us do, about how well he able to command units. As far as the one he's under command, they seem to be good enough, but again, if they blindly follow his orders, then has Madio seen him giving orders at all? Like
no, but you've been in a meeting with him one time.
I know I've been in the meeting to him one time.
Yeah, you haven't seen him giving orders before.
Yeah.
You might have seen movies of his exploits on television.
And those are always dramatized.
Yes, right? Absolutely. The actor who plays him is about 6 inches taller than the actual Prince, who's regarded as quite short.
Ah, gotcha. As far as a newly recent Lyran and the understanding of nobility, how you can get where you are because of your name, I would be hesitant to follow his orders, considering I've not seen him fight himself.
I see.
Mercenaries goes, respect is earned, not given.
That
That's most cases everything.
in itself is quite a draconian phrase.
Well, I'm originally Free World League, so. And I've been a mercenary all my life, so it's kind of.
Sometimes the wisdom of the dragon transcends cultural boundaries. Major, you're dismissed. I have a personal matter to speak with the Warrant Office.
Very well. And just Bandito leaves.
Butch,
Sir.
have you given any thought to what you're going to do when this is all over? And I know it's presumptuous to ask on the assumption that this will ever end, but the whole point of this mission, this operation, is in fact to ensure that the clan invasion has a somewhat permanent end, one way or another. I understand you rejoined after the death of your mother, and your personal mission has been indeed what this operation intends to complete.
Well, I'd be lying to you if I told you I ever had much of a plan for anything, sir.
Yes.
This will be my last operation with Crow's Black, though.
See.
I've been battling retirement for a while now, and I think it's a fight that I'm going to lose eventually. And by lose, I mean retire.
I mean, he nods because he's in his 60s and he just retired from active military service. He's like, yes, I know the feeling.
As willing as the mind might be, I think you could probably relate that the body only has so much to give.
Have you ever considered a transfer to officer?
And while I am in superlative shape, as you can see,
he doesn't say anything, but he just picks up a bulb of tea and sips from it.
I can only ride this train for so long before the wheels fall off. So I'd like to have a few years at the end here, just to be able to, I guess, reap what I sow in a weird kind of way.
See.
I haven't much considered officership. I've never believed that life suited me very well. Since I've returned from retirement, I've actually kind of gone out of my way to disentangle myself from a lot of the personnel here at the unit. When I left a lot of relationships on good terms. And when I returned, I didn't want to make it about that. I needed it to be about something else. And between you and me, as long as I can get Vincent Gray through all of this mess alive, I'll consider my task done here.
See. So you consider him to be the future of this unit?
In one way or another. That may or may not be true. It's a personal debt that I owe him that I've never spoken to him about, nor do I ever plan to. He killed the man that killed my mother, and for that, there's no amount of blood I can wash my hands in to repay that debt.
Very well, Chief. Between now, assuming we arrive at Huntress, everything is fine, and we turn around and come home, it will still be almost a year. In that time, I would like a plan from you for a replacement and for a way to keep the traditions of Crow's Black alive. I will not be general of this unit forever or for very long. My chair is somewhat as transitory as yours.
Certainly, that's the nature of command.
I would like to make sure that the traditions of this unit are somewhat more enshrined in both the culture and protocol, so that when I'm gone, and indeed when you are gone, the unit remains. I understand that mercenary units are prone to collapse on a regular basis. Not everyone can be the new Kell Hounds, the new Wolf Dragoons. But if this unit can survive, I intend to make sure that it does. That is why I accepted this job.
Well, I can appreciate that sentiment, and I'll put my mind to it.
I understand. I must also apologize for the very odd series of orders regarding you and the non-commissioned officer meetings. That, again, was another brilliant plan by Prince Victor Ian Steiner Davian. I think.
Well, despite perhaps tainted origins, I hope you've been getting reports or at least feedback that it's been somewhat of a success.
My understanding is that the Capellian force, the Red Lancers, has managed to pull itself together. I suppose that several months without political officers and factions calling you every 5 minutes has allowed them to put aside their minor squabbles. So, in some way, the something good, at the very least, came out of it.
Well, I can't ask for much more than that, I suppose.
Warrant Officer, there has been a drop in the supply of both hot dogs and tacos throughout the fleet.
A necessary evil, I'm afraid.
You may want to slow down, especially if you wish to keep both your health and general physique.
Sir, I've been fueling this machine with hot dogs and tacos for the better part of 3 decades now, and I consider myself a living example of the success of that program.
Have you considered a vegan diet? Captain Crossroads and I, the other Captain Crossroads, Captain Hallaby Crossroads and I, have been experimenting with some success on our voyage.
I sustained an injury a number of years ago that forced me into a liquid vegetable diet for an amount of time, and I can tell you I'd rather you just kill me now than put me back on such a program.
I understand.
I do, however, appreciate your concern for my well-being.
I'm concerned with the well-being of all members of this unit.
The Mark
Yes.
is a good commander, to be sure.
That's all I have for you, Chief.
Thank you, sir. And I will see myself out, I guess.
Does anyone else have any scenes they want to do? Perhaps even a Valentine's Day related scene, or not?
I'll give everybody a Valentine's gift.
What gift do you give them? What has survived for 8 months on a dropship voyage? Or maybe you painted something. Maybe you've illegally made some chocolates.
It's illegal to make chocolate?
How do you think they're going to make chocolate on this fleet voyage? Where do you
I don't know. I just know it's illegal.
Where do you think
You're not gonna
the
find
milk and
cacao
coca comes from? The milk is gone a long time ago. Like, there was no fresh milk after a month in.
Well, for Butch McGurk, I'll give him beef jerky. That'll last 8 months.
Hell yeah.
I guess I just do a painting for everybody else because, chocolates would have been a good idea.
You said, Bandito, a painting of Butch McGurk eating beef jerky.
No, probably just some kind of cheesy Valentine-y painting.
I see. What do you send Carolyn Hauser?
So a painting.
Yeah, but of what?
Her dad. That's the one we worked with,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, her dad. From what I remember him looking like.
Okay, so this is like a 10-year-old painting, right? Like it's
Unless I've seen him.
No, it's this
after
Silver
that.
Fox Prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what do you send Harbinger? I don't know that you've ever talked to him.
I don't think I've talked to Harbinger. So Harbinger probably gets nothing. I'm so sorry.
Wow. You get like a courtesy card, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
From
I'll send
the desk
everybody
of...
like, like little tiny pocket card that says Happy Valentine's Day.
The kind that like first graders pass around in
Yeah,
class.
so like the crew members that live on the ship.
Unsurprisingly, Melissa gets a metric fuck ton of stuff, enough that they have to send a shuttle out to pick all of it up from the other jump ships.
From all her booty calls.
Yes.
I think Bandito gets Melissa a program, the famous Kenneth Cross.
The Kenneth Cross. What is it? Which one is it?
Essentially, is the
Nagami and
how
you
maintain a marriage during.
I don't think a mercenary company is going to have that sort of training. However,
He's had every sort of training under the sun
it will
so
probably
far.
have a fraternization training clause for sure.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
go there.
How to
Go with
run
that.
a relationship in a military operation. I'm Kenneth Cross. And then Molly steps out and says, and I'm Molly Cross.
Bandito will get Butch some decent whiskey, or whatever synth whiskey they have.
Yeah, I was gonna say, either you paid a whole lot of money for it, or you didn't pay very much at all. Toilet
Whatever-
whiskey, basically.
Whatever the best whiskey you could have or smuggle onto the ship for the voyage. For Black Rabbit, probably some sort of I don't know, probably whatever the best cuddly animal thing that you could find on the ship. Stuffed whatever. I don't know if he knows oh shoot, was yeah. I think for actually I want to get something for Harbinger.
Really?
Yes. I think Bandito is also going to get him whatever the best sort of scotch or whatever he can get on the drop ships to him. Note saying, "Good to see you're well. Thank you for all your support with us and helping us out on occasion, yada yada yada." And I can't even tell what James gets because he's not even here.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
What year is this?
3060.
3060.
Good year. Fine harvest.
Can I stick a sucker on all my cards with suckers
So,
that lasted 8 months?
Valentine's Day is a Tuesday in 3060.
Yes.
We have a
Taco
Valentine's
Tuesday.
Yeah, Valentine's Day themed
shitload
Taco
of
Tuesday.
Taco sees stuff over to to Butch's party.
Well,
I have him dye all the taco shells pink.
Somehow he through his contacts managed to smuggle in some avocados from somewhere, so there's fresh guac.
Nice.
that's not possible.
It
There's no guacamole, or there's no avocado that lasts for 8 months. I can't even get one to last for 8 days.
What if somebody planted an avocado tree?
So I don't know if you know this.
8 months later, it harvested.
If really all you're going to do is turn them into guac, you can freeze them.
Wow, incredible. I didn't know that.
Yes.
All right, you bring out the deep frozen guac.
Well, the deep frozen avocado, and then it's really easy to get the pit out.
Wow.
Yes. I've taught you something tonight.
I've learned something new today.
Space transit guacamole, I guess. Frozen avocado for concentrate? Oh, no. Oh, that sounds disgusting. No, I've never heard of avocado juice before, but I don't want it. What were you getting Medusa, Caroline Hauser? I know someone said that they wanted to give her something. But then James got up and walked away. Was it Bandito?
I think it was the painting of...
No.
No. That's what Bandito's going to get Hauser. I think he's going to get her I don't know.
She comes back to her quarters and there's rose petals on the ground leading to her bed with Bandito sprawled upon it, wearing nothing but his cowboy hat.
Somewhere an HR phone rings.
Lieutenant Ashram Ritter just shows up out of nowhere, like the specter of death.
Essentially, yes.
Just raises up like a vampire out of a coffin.
Yeah, it's just like, I heard someone called for me. It's time to take some lessons.
I think he'll probably get her like a 6-pack of beer that he's probably smuggled in and saved for a like actual beer, not like the synth beer, whatever they had, sort of alcohol.
Yeah.
His rainy day beer.
Yeah.
None of you have really ever interacted with her, but your quartermaster, Lieutenant Senior Grade Sophia Meinrad, aka Cargo, gets everybody 2 small sugar candies.
Oh my!
Everyone in the entire unit. You have no idea where she got them from.
Smuggled them because she's the quartermaster.
Well, she is the quartermaster. That's for sure. Rapier gets everybody novelty bottles of vodka, like airplane.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I feel like there's this last scene where Rapier's still trying to keep his cover up, so he's on the Canopian pleasure vessel, acting super drunk and going, but wearing his Word of Blake like hood around his head and just screaming, "Let me fill you with the word! Let me fill you with the word!"
That doesn't happen. None of that happens.
Right.
Anything else anyone wants to do before we call this episode?
So I think at some point, Medusa will awkwardly ask Billy, like, what he's doing for Valentine's Day. Like, more to find out, is he doing something else? Has he got something going on the side yet? Or
So let me be clear. When you ask Billy, he believes you're asking what his work schedule is, and he tells you about the mechs that he's fixing at the time. He's just like, oh, yeah, February 14th. So let me see here. Looks like I'm removing the left arm of the Centurion and just cleaning all the gunk out of there. One of McGurk's little hot dog cannon pranks went awry, and there is processed sausage all over the inside of that arm. We're going to have to just pull it out. You know how hard it is.
What about after hours? I mean, it's Valentine's Day. Didn't you get little candies?
Oh, it's gonna be overtime. You know what hot dog oil does to electronics in space? It's not good.
It's very romantic.
She's like, wait, Valentine's Day? Are you asking me out?
Oh, I was just saying. Did you have any plans? Were you doing something?
Wait here. He floats over to a maintenance closet.
I've planned exactly for this. This possibility.
He closes the closet door, and 3 minutes later, he comes out. He's wearing a vest with no shirt, and he has on a bowler hat. And he floats back over, and he expertly, 0G leans against the mech and is like, so you're not doing anything for Valentine's Day then?
Do you want to get dinner?
Is that what the kids are calling it this day? Sure. That's not what we call it back on Solaris, but...
Oh, why don't you finish up here and you can tell me all about it?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right.
Billy untips his hat and goes, "M'lady." Yeah, that's right, Rad. That's exactly what happens. It's canon now.
Was it actually McGurk's bowler hat he got from the cupboard, or was it? Okay, so yeah,
Your hat on.
they'll have one of those awkward, are we friends or are we more type dinners, I guess.
Yeah, well, Billy's on the more side.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're on the friend side?
No, I think that Carolyn's on the friends with benefits side. So, yeah.
Billy definitely wants more out of relationships.
Yeah. But yeah, this will do for now.
Any other scenes? Not like I'm trying to rush us out of here, but if anyone had something.
No, I think Benny is just going to be alone, doing nothing.
For Valentine's Day? Oof, too real.
Yeah.
We'll be back theoretically next week. I know because we signed a murder compact with James agreeing that we'd all be here next week.
That's true.
Just for reference, I believe you have something business related, and you were looking for us to confirm just to make sure.
Oh, all I was saying was I have been asked to run a business lunch, which I can move, but I just want to make sure if other people were thinking they couldn't make it, I wouldn't move it.
Lima, you good?
If everyone's good, then
yeah, it seems like everyone's good. We'll be back next week with the actual combat, which we might have maybe done this week, except the map is too big. We'll be talking with our map makers, Sidious and Dunamis, who are both on Discord. You can thank them for their amazing work throughout the community. Use their stuff anytime. Again, I just want to thank everyone as we go into the final arc. We could not have done this show without everyone's help, making tools, helping correct our rules mistakes, and just supporting the show to get us here. So, thank you. We'll go in reverse order of how we went in for intros. So the outros will start with Glimo.
Hey, I'm Glimo. You can find me at twitch.tv/Glimo. I'll be streaming on Sunday some Call of Cthulhu. Also, those of you that don't know, I'm very active in a Mardi Gras crew down in New Orleans, and we're trying to help support a number of the artists and bands and people that work with us that are affected by COVID-19. And so we have an organization that's putting on weekly concert series, and I just got the email update that the Honey Island Swamp Band is playing for us tomorrow night. So if you're around at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern, normal Battletech time, the extremely long URL is Fridays from the Funky Uncle, all one word.com. I'll put just that part in the chat because I'm not a mod. Please feel free to come out and listen to some great live music and help us raise money to support a bunch of artists that are having trouble these days.
Okay. Pondo, what do you got?
I am Pondo, or Pondothemad. You can catch me on YouTube or Twitch/Pondothemad, or you can find me here Saturday nights with Rogue Trader with AP, James, and also Henley. Or you can find me on Sunday nights with my own channel with Hunters of Ulvern at 8 p.m. Eastern, where it's a 5e Gestalt game set in a campaign in my own setting. Yeah, that's about it. It's been a crazy ride. About the way it can be summed up.
Cotton, what do you got going on?
I'm Cottontailed. I doodle and stuff. You can find me on AP's Tuesday night on the tabletop. It's Thursday night Battletech, obviously, and Pondothemad Sunday night Gestalt game Hunters of Ulvern.
Wow, full title. Amazing.
That's all I got.
Oh, good. Brad, what do you got?
I'm Raddosaurus. You can find me right here for the time being, I suppose, Thursday nights on Arthur's Battletech show and on Arthur's Discord. And yeah, I had a good time tonight. I feel like it's tough to tie up loose ends earlier than expected, but I thought everything's working out pretty good so far. So I'm excited to start the battle and see kind of how everything turns out.
The real loose ends are all of your characters that I'm going to tie up.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to do that.
They're
The
going to
real
perish.
sense was all the friends we
They're
made
gonna
along
die.
the way.
Yeah, they're all going to die on Huntress, and they'll never be heard from
Ideally, I'll
again.
just die in this battle, and I won't have to deal with any of the other
Wow, that's so
question marks.
dark. Oh my god.
hey, we can go with Denai Centrella on her big escapade.
Yeah, of course.
That works out so well.
Yeah, you should be Denai Centrella's escort force. Okay, so someone already spoiled it on the YouTube videos, but Denai Centrella is not coming back from this invasion.
James told us that a while ago.
Yeah, but I think it was during intros, or some people missed it. But yeah, YouTube comments have been like, "Oh my God, deny. She's gonna be
I think I said it
dead."
in an outro, and at that point in time, I didn't realize she was going to be a serious character appearing multiple times. I thought it was just a one-off sort of intro. But anyway,
Yeah, she's not coming home.
There ain't no coming
Davian
back,
die? I
man.
kind of hope he dies.
Who?
Davian, Prince Victor Davian.
No, not yet.
Prince Victor Davian lives into the Dark Ages, and his death is what kicks off the Dark Ages storyline.
Jeez.
He lives for a very long time. Look, you want to get even more fucked up? His sister has a secret clone baby with him, and that person is almost certainly the clan warrior who took over Terra and became the first emperor of all of humanity.
As
Yeah.
you do.
That's some fucking weird shit in the Battletech universe.
Yeah, you thought it was bad when Word of Blake took over Terra.
Look, here's the look, Word
least
of
we
Blake
weren't
taking over
incestuous
Terra
clone
was
babies.
cool. Word of Blake taking over Terra was cool. Word of Blake Jihad was terrible because they were like, all right, so there's no novels where Word of Blake Jihad takes place. You only get it by reading short
source
stories
book.
and experts in the source book. So you get like a paragraph and they reference someone and that person dies. They're like, yeah, all these favorite characters you had, they died in this footnote. Jamie Wolf, I don't know, we'll just fucking nuke him. In the middle of his famous duel, we'll just blow him up. Why not?
I'm still bitter about Natasha Kerensky's death. So
Why? She went out like a boss versus one of the best mech pilots in the universe.
I mean, she was. It's one of those things where she was killed by
Joanna.
approaching a fallen mech, who
Yeah.
then fired a jump jets from her just twisted leg into the cockpit of the direwolf. It's sort of like one of those things that doesn't seem to pan out in the. I mean, I suppose it wouldn't happen in a BattleTech game, and it seems like a rookie error for like one of the best pilots.
So what I like about it is Joanna goes on and she's just like, yeah, I killed Natasha Kerensky and I'm real bad. And everyone's like, all right, go retire, old lady. And then they're like, oh man, we need a really good mech pilot to like teach some youngsters. And Joanna's like, that's right, I'm super hardcore. And then they're like, all right, it's 10 years later, somehow she's still alive, she's still a Mechwarrior, and she's like, that's right, I'm too angry to die.
Well, that's
Her
the
whole
worst part of that
storyline.
book.
It's just like, that's right, I'm too angry to lose to Natasha. That's right, I'm too angry to retire.
The worst part of the book, and that book is called I Am Jade Falcon, is there's a scene in the book where the main character and the other characters are all sort of trapped somewhere behind enemy lines, surrounded, outgunned, and they're like, how are we getting out of this? And the main character says, it's all right, I am Jade Falcon. Next chapter, they've already escaped, and they're safely back where they wanted to be with no further explanation.
Listen, there's bad writing in every generation of Battletech novels, but mostly Dark Ages. Brad, did we do your outro?
Yes, we did.
All right, I believe that brings us to James.
Yep. I am James, GrimdarkJames of the Grimdark Podcast, www.grimdarkpodcast.com, or find me here on Saturday for Rogue Trader, or my own YouTube channel, which has a video now where I unbox stuff. Other than that, I had a good time.
One whole
tonight.
video.
One whole box, and it
What a
didn't even come in a
value.
box; it came in a bag. So, but that's it. Had a good time tonight. I know it was difficult to sort of throw things together when things change at the last minute, but I appreciate Arthur's efforts to do so, and I thank Glimo as well for coming and joining us for the night, and looking forward to being back here again in a couple of days for Rogue Trader.
For my outro, I want to say someone said to do a flash forward of Melissa's death, and I just want to say this. When I wrote Melissa's death, Cotton was not a member of this cast, and I am desperately worried that if I do it, that everyone here is going to be super depressed, and it's going to be way too dark for Cotton. Like, the scene I have wrote is really dark. Her death is super gruesome.
Did she hyperspace drive herself into another ship?
What?
What happens?
Listen, that only happens one time in the Battletech universe, and that is when the Melissa. Oh, it actually is a jump ship called the Melissa, I think. Right? It's the Kentari slams into the Melissa Steiner Davian. They do a KF jump to a ship that they're right next to, and basically turn them both into taffy. It's not good. You're not really supposed to jump on top of yourself. Does she choke to death eating wet bread? Wow, James, that's... Listen, I said it was dark. I didn't say it was ridiculous.
That was brutal. And I loved it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really have.
I don't know. I'll have
character-
to think about whether I want to share it or
Yeah.
not. I've actually been thinking for a long time whether or not to even do the scene. I keep going back and forth on it.
Do it.
Listen, we got the rapier scene. The rapier reveal. Look, you got that 6 to 8 months early, all right? You don't need anything besides that. That's it. We'll be back next week. After Eric Walgaris comes back from vacation, he'll be joining us. We don't know when that is, so... Battletech Bingo will return. Be prepared to play some bingo. Will you win? Will you lose? Can you play the game? Have good night.
Bye.
Wow, really hiccup there at the end.